Good morning, this is Mr. Willie. It is May the 4th. I'm tired. Been up since, I don't know, 5 o'clock. I don't know, my son texted me, let me know he was leaving LAX and headed back home. So I've tried doing videos, and I had technical difficulties this morning, and I think, what I think is that I just had too much files, too much stuff on my phone, so I've kind of been spending time erasing stuff. The word that I started with, I'm going to hold off on, and I'm going to do a word on fake. And it's a thought process I've been having for the last couple of days, and thinking about the fact that we now have something that's almost for real, but it's fake, and that's fake news. And I just want to encourage you all that fake news has been around for a long time. It's not like it's a new thing. It's bigger now because of technology and because people have found out they can make money off of it. So fake news is huge now because it's a money maker, and and people tend to watch it. When Jesus was walking the earth, there was fake news. Matter of fact, after he was crucified, put in a tomb, and after his body had disappeared when he rose from the dead, they were trying to figure out how to tell everybody fake news. They were trying to tell them that, go around and tell them that his disciples stole the body. We can't let them think that their Messiah has risen from the dead. That was fake news. How often do you hear fake news? How often are you a part of fake news? How often are you a person perpetuating fake news? Fake news is not a good thing, guys. It's a sowing of discord among people. And that's an abomination to God. When I was a young man, I was somewhat of an athlete and pretty decent at basketball. One of the reasons why I was able to fake people out. I could do a little juke with my body or my head or with my ability to dribble basketball and completely fake somebody out to get what I want, to get past them, to get to the basket. That was a good faking. But what goes on in life, people faking each other out, people acting like they love somebody and then saying psych and walking away, or and guys and women both do it. People faking people out in business. People, I was a nurse. Some of the paperwork you have to fill out is faking people out. It's fake news. It's fake documentation. And it's done on a regular basis in the government. There's so much fake stuff going on, it's not funny. Here in America, much of our history was fake, so that people wouldn't know the truth. There is underlying in life a fake everything. There's fake love. There's fake companionship. There's fake loyalty. We fake it a lot of different things. I'm sure you guys are all in your heads as you're thinking about this. You're thinking about things that are fake to you. One of the reasons why I follow Christ is because he has been the one thing that has not been fake to me, and he's proved the reality of who he is and what he did and what he does and what he will do over and over and over again for me. So there is no faking it. Now, you can go to church and you can fake your love for God, and you can fake your dedication and your your piety. You can fake all that. You're not going to get very far. You may please other people. That was one of the problems of the Pharisees and the Sadducees in Jesus' time, where they were fakes. They were hypocrites. They were acting one way and actually had other things going on inside. And that's the danger of the fake, is that, when I played basketball, coming up against an opponent, they didn't know what I was going to do. And so I could fake and get around them pretty easily because, you know, even though we know the goal is to get to the basket, I could go left or I could go right. You know, I wasn't big enough to go over you, but I could fake you out and go left or right, and you'd never know which way I was going to go because I could shoot with my left hand or my right hand. In life, a lot of times we meet people and they throw that little juke on us and they fake us out, and we think they're trying to get to our heart when they're really trying to get to something else. You know, and we got people that are damaged. We got people that are addicted. We got people that have issues, and sometimes it's not so much that they're trying to fake you out, but you get faked out because of what you're feeling. My suggestion to a lot of you is that if you know what's real, you can't be faked out. You know, there were tricks. I was pretty decent defensively in basketball too, and the reason why was because I had ways of watching a person. You could watch their eyes, you could watch their hips, you could watch the ball. You know, you almost had to watch everything to figure out how not to get faked. And that's not to say I didn't get faked out and didn't get beat sometimes, but for me the object was always the ball. I didn't care what you were doing with your body, I wanted the ball. And you could fake with your body and do a lot of things, but I was going after the basketball. A lot of you get faked out because you're going for the wrong things. And you need to be focused. I don't get faked out a whole lot anymore because my focus is on Christ. You know, when you're a younger guy and when you're seeking after a relationship, women can fake you out and you can get involved in stuff, and you can really get burned pretty bad. We used to, whenever you fake somebody out and get to the basket and leave them standing with their shorts around their ankles, you know, we would say that guy got burned bad. I've been burned in life. And I've been burned in business, and I've been burned in a lot of different ways because people have faked me out. You know, we've all bought an insurance policy or bought something that we got at home and realized, crap, I got faked out. You know, every one of us have seen something on TV, thought it would look like a pretty good appliance, a pretty good thing to get, and you go buy it and get it home, take it out of the box and go, what? Faked? There are people out there that spend their time trying to figure out how to fake other people out to get their money, to get them to buy their product, to get them to drive off the lot with their car. There's all kinds of things that people can use to fake people out. There are little hidden clauses in contracts. There are little, you know, our government operates on manufacturing tons of paperwork with something hidden in there that someone's not going to read. You know, our country has probably at times faked out a lot of the world for one reason, and that's to accumulate money, oil, natural resources. And it's just, you know, it's not so much that it's only America, because it's basically human nature to covet. That's why it's one of the 10 Commandments. It's why God says, covet not. You know, don't covet your neighbor's wife. Don't covet your neighbor's belongings. Don't covet your... But we don't pay attention. Most people, you know, we know the Second Amendment. We don't know what the commandments say. We don't know what God has required of us, because we get faked out by the fact that we go to college, we go to universities, we go somewhere and we learn about a whole bunch. We get all this knowledge about stuff, and it pushes all the reality of true life off to the side, and that's the laws of God, the love of God, the will of God. A lot of you have been faked out by life, and you're on medication for anxiety and for stress, and you know, you're working thinking that the American dream is all about working and getting a house and 2 cars and 2.5 children and a dog and a cat. You've been faked out. And I'll be honest with you, I've had all those things. I had the house on the hill with the picket fence and the station wagon. Yep. lost it all. Faked out. What happens with being faked out is you begin to learn what's fake. And, like I said, fake news has been around forever. It's not something new. So if you're still getting faked out by life, you need to brighten up. I encourage people to get into the Bible and read about the life of Christ and read what Paul wrote in most of the New Testament and be instructed in righteousness so that you can do things correctly. Much of what's happened to me in the last 4 years is that I decided that I wanted to be a part of changing the world for the better, and I wanted to better myself, and I wanted to set new priorities, and I wanted to learn what God's will was for my life, and I wanted to get this right before I leave this world. I didn't want to get to heaven one day and go, God, I'm so sorry, but I was just faked out all the time. I didn't know what was right, what was wrong. Didn't know what to do and what not to do. And the truth of the matter is, He makes it pretty clear in His Word what's right and what's wrong, what to do and what not to do. The key is not being faked out by your flesh and deciding that, you know what, this feels way better than what God's telling me to do, so I'm going to do this instead. I see people do that all the time, and you know what? You sow to the flesh, you reap to the flesh, and it's not a good reaping. I have attempted to sow to the Spirit more so than to the flesh in these days, and I find that at times I still struggle at times because my flesh wants to do something else. I mean, I'll tell you what, I was on a nutritional plan that was really working, and I got frustrated, got discouraged, and got off of it, and trying to get back on it. And you know what? There's so much stuff out there that's fake as far as taste, and it's fake as far as it'll fill you up, but it's not good for you. And if you keep sowing bad nutrition into your body, eventually organs are going to shut down, things are going to go wrong. And it's not going to be anybody's fault but yours, because nobody's forcing food into your mouth. And it's the same thing with life. Nobody's forcing all this bad information into your life. They may tell you have to believe this in order to get here, and if you want to get there, you're going to believe it or do it, but it's not necessarily right. What I'm trying to teach people is godliness and being in your word and understanding it. And it's not about memorizing scripture and appearing to be godly and having a suit and going to church on a regular basis. It's about drawing near to God in a way to where He draws near to you, and you suddenly realize that this isn't fake. When I really honestly understood that God wasn't fake, it was a game changer for me. And it saturates your life, and it gets into every aspect of what you're doing. I was a nurse. I've been a natural gas man. When God got into my life, it changed the way I operated around people. It changed the way I operated in myself, because I knew that I could be fake around other people, but God could still look into my heart and see what I was doing, and He kept forgiving me. He kept forgiving me for my faking, for my hypocrisy, to the point to where I just decided, you know what, I've got to live this thing full tilt. I've got to laser beam in on being what He wants me to be, and forget about trying to please other people or look like a certain way or not. So what you see is what you get. Mr. Willie in West Virginia hopefully is not a fake. I don't say hopefully, I'm not, but I pray that this has been a blessing to you. It wasn't the original message that I came out with, but I think maybe this is what God wanted. And from my friend who wanted a different message, I'm working on it, brother. I'm working on it. I'll get it out. I'm thinking about it. It was actually my first message, and it just kept getting messed up, so I kept having technical difficulties. So this is what you got. Fake news. Avoid it. Okay? Because there is good news. It's called the gospel. Good news for mankind. You find it in the Bible. You find it by following Christ. You find it when you finally find peace, and I've found peace. That's why I tell you, shalom. That's a complete peace. All right? Hey, this has been a blessing to you. Pass it on to some of your friends, okay? On Facebook, I'm Willie Owens, and on YouTube, I am Mr. Willie in West Virginia. God bless. Have a great day, and I will talk to you probably tomorrow, okay? Shalom. Love you guys. But more importantly, God loves you more.